Have you ever felt like you're constantly juggling the demands of work, family, and personal life? Do you ever struggle to maintain balance and purpose amid life's chaos? If so, you're not alone. Many working women of faith face these challenges on a daily basis, often feeling overwhelmed and uncertain about how to navigate the complexities of modern life. But what if there was a place where you could find the support, guidance, and inspiration you need to thrive? That's where the BOLDLY conference comes in. You've been to work conferences, and perhaps you've attended a women's conference or two. But have you been to BOLDLY? BOLDLY is the conference for women who are driven in work and anchored in faith. Your work matters, and it's an important part of God's story. Now, before we continue, I want to let you in on something special. We're giving you an exclusive opportunity to join us at BOLDLY 2024 with a $20 discount on your ticket. Stick around until the end of the episode to find out how you can claim this offer and to be a part of something truly transformative. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. BOLDLY is more than just a gathering of women. It's a transformative experience designed to renew your spirit, embolden your leadership, and connect you with a community of like-minded women who understand the unique challenges you face.
The whole idea of Polish and their collaboration is a big part of just my draw, and seeing that women can be brought in from all different walks of life and all different areas of expertise and come together for a time to really be poured into. And then for myself to really hear what the Lord might have to say to me with the speakers that are brought here, because I know that they're brought very intentionally and with a very much everyone with a different focus, but yet all the same theme, and to be challenged.
So I just felt like I needed the Lord to be pouring into me in a room full of women that are in community.
I've really just been appreciating hearing from so many different women and different topics that are being shared. I really enjoyed that in the first session, there were 3 single women that were platformed and speaking. I am a single woman in ministry, and it's something that isn't talked about a lot. Just singleness as a whole is typically not talked about, or it's not looked at in a positive way all the time. It's either ignored or just passed over. So just having women who are single, whether it was because they were widowed or they have never been married or whatever their circumstance was, it was so great to see that highlighted right off the bat.
I'm your host, Jane Doerman, and for this special mini-series, we're going to take a first-hand look at what you can expect from your experience at the BOLDLY conference. I had the opportunity to be present at the BOLDLY conference in person this past year, and let me tell you, this is not your typical conference. So for 3 episodes, we're going to embark on a journey of renewal, connection, and emboldenment as we dive into the transformative experience of the BOLDLY conference. Before we dive into the heart of the conference, let's first understand its purpose. BOLDLY exists to create a space where working women of faith can come together, connect, and grow in their leadership journey. It's a place where we can renew our spirits, sharpen our skills, and find the support we need to thrive in our personal and professional lives.
And so conferences like this are going to pull the people who are looking for growth, who are struggling with similar things, and it just creates a natural environment to develop those lifelong relationships, that support that we all need to thrive and not just survive.
That's executive coach Pamela Flores, who reminds us that conferences like BOLDLY are vital for fostering growth and building community among women. BOLDLY offers a space where we can connect, process the challenges we face as working women of faith, and support one another in our journeys. And this year, the conference highlighted the importance of mental health and emphasized what it means to lead boldly by finding renewal and strength together.
For people, but what makes things better is the connection between us, right? And so when we have these vulnerable places where we can let down our mask and say, hey, I am struggling. This is a lot. I don't have answers. I just like, I don't know what to do. The other person can match that and say, hey, me too, right? And that connection is what makes things better. And there's this tool, the relational nutrients, or sometimes I call it EQ support, where you can actually go through and say, okay, it's expanded version of the help you, hug you, or hear you. It's from Dr. Townsend, John Townsend. And there's these 4 quadrants, and it's, okay, do you want me to be present with you? And in being present, there's validation, there's comfort, there's empathy and attunement, like let me really lean in and hear and be with you fully, right? And then sometimes we need encouragement. There's this, like, see the good in me. What do you see? And let me know what you see. And so there's encouragement, affirmation, respect, hope. There's, like 6 or 7 in each quadrant. And then you move on to help me see reality, right? So what's new perspective for this? What is some feedback that you have for me? And then the last one is call me to action. But it is that vulnerability that draws us in and lets us know that we're not alone. And it's like vitamins and nutrients. We know that our body physically needs rest and physically needs food and minerals and all these things. But emotionally, we need those things too. And we don't often ask for them. And we are so depleted. And so we just want to normalize, like, hey, you need encouragement. That is normal. You need empathy. That is normal. Ask for it, right? When we're little kids, like as parents or caregivers, it is your responsibility to know what the kid needs, right? So they're crying, that's their only signal. And you as the caregiver are like, okay, I think they're hungry. Then they grow up a little bit. I have a 5-year-old, and he can tell me verbally, Mom, I'm hungry. And guess what? My responsibility is to have the fridge stocked, to make him food, to say, here you go. But now he can feed himself. As they get older, teenagers, they can say, Mom, I'm hungry. And you're like, the food is in the fridge. Go get it, right? But even as adults, we're still looking for, hey, I'm hungry. Who's going to help me? Nobody's coming. You're it. You are responsible for yourself. And so it is your responsibility to learn what emotional needs you have, to search within and say, I think I'm depleted for this. I need to go ask and I need to go get it. And I am empowered to get those needs filled.
Inspired by the passage in Romans chapter 12, verses 1 and 2, the first session of Boldly addressed this idea of what it looks like to be renewed. Renewal isn't just about a change of pace or a temporary break from our daily routines. It's about experiencing a profound transformation in our hearts and minds, a renewal of our spirits that empowers us to lead boldly in every aspect of our lives.
At the end of the day, the human heart is searched by God, and people will reveal their character in their fundamental life choices. Even through their diseases, their disabilities, nurture, cultural settings, horrible situations, and so forth. That's why we need a heart that is being transformed to be like Christ. The good news is that because of God's mercy and grace, that this gift of a new heart is ours for the asking. I wonder where you are. I wonder what's going on with you. I ask just lovingly as your sister, I know a thing about suffering. I know a thing about loss, but here I am. I don't want to do some of the things I do, but I know that that's going to keep me strong. It's going to keep me steadfast until God chooses maybe to reveal something else, and he may never reveal anything else. But what I know is that he will never leave us or forsake us, and that he wants to be in the details of your heart, just like the big things.
Mindy Lawhorne is the founder of Team Fit Life, host of the Hope and Struggle podcast, and a fitness professional. And she kicked off our time together with a powerful story of love and loss. Recognizing that in order for us to experience the good news of the gospel, there has to be bad news. Mindy graciously shared her vulnerability, and through her words, reminds us that renewal often comes through challenges and struggles. It's in the midst of adversity that we find the strength to persevere and emerge stronger than ever before.
It's only through the fire that we are refined. And we want the refining. We want the good stuff that comes on the outer side. But the only way around anything is through. And the through is the hard part of being steadfast and continuing to stay locked in and at his feet, but also doing the disciplined things we have to do in our human life to keep us going and get us to that point, even when we don't want to, even when we don't see a light at the end of the tunnel, even when we don't see, like, what am I even working for? And why has nothing changed when I feel I've been so disciplined and I've been so dedicated? And the big thing that happens is what happens through perseverance and suffering, which is it builds character. And it not only builds character, but it builds hope. But that is, I believe, bringing us to more of the person God intended us to be. But we will never get there unless we go through the struggle.
Challenges and adversity is something that we can all relate to when it comes to our work. Where it got interesting was our next guest, Dr. JoAnn Hummel, who invited all of us into a conversation about the challenges of being a single working woman. And this challenge begins with a renewal of our mindset.
Renewing our minds is so crucial because the quality of our thinking largely determines the quality of our lives. If your thinking is stinking, it's going to come out in your life. If your thinking is saturated with God's truth, it will be much easier to replace the ugly lies with the beautiful truth of God's word, and you will renew your mind. So let's get rid of the stinking thinking.
Dr. JoAnn Hummel dedicated 30 years to serving as a pastor at Bentry Bible Fellowship in Carrollton, Texas, before retiring in June 2023. Now she continues her ministry as an executive coach, preacher, writer, and mentor. She also founded the Walking Mentor, an organization where she literally walks alongside younger women, coaching and mentoring them in both their spiritual and professional journeys. And while Dr. JoAnn has touched countless lives, the experiences of single women resonate deeply with her because they reflect her own story. Her lived experience fuels her passion to raise awareness of the unique challenges single women face, hoping to foster unity and understanding among us all.
First, I wanted to talk about the ugly lies that single women often have working and damaging and wounding them inside, and how they can overcome them by the renewing of their mind, replacing those lies with God's truth to renew their mind. The second thing I wanted to talk about today was the unique challenges that single women face in the workplace and how they can overcome them. Single women face challenges because they're women, because all women face challenges in the workplace, but single women have unique challenges, so I wanted to talk about those. And then the third thing was to make an urgent plea for our married sisters to stand in solidarity with their single sisters and include them, to look at them as sisters and family, to really embrace them into their celebrations and holidays and things like that, and to just stand with them in solidarity.
It was a powerful message. I am a married woman. I have 3 kids. And for me, it was just super challenging just to hear the struggles that single women in the workplace come up against. Could you share some of those with us?
Yeah, so all women face challenges.
Absolutely.
So we have a challenge in the fact that our leadership is not, advancing in leadership is not as direct as men, so it's kind of circuitous. A lot of, on the ladder of success, all the rungs are in place for men, but a lot of the rungs are missing for women, so it's harder for us to advance out of entry-level jobs into management. It's hard to break through the glass ceiling as a woman, you know? And so single women have they experience all those challenges. And in addition, because if you're a single woman and you're not married, and as research calls you, you're not mothered. So single women who don't have children kind of violate society's expectations of what women should be. So the adage is women take care and men take charge. Okay. So if you don't have a visible husband or children, then you're seen as kind of the anti of the norm for women. So you get all kinds of prejudice and penalties coming at you as a single woman. So you can be seen as less feminine. You can be judged as an inferior leader compared to men or married women. You can begin to doubt yourself. You are maybe stymied in your leadership advancement. And people want you to be both things. If you're going to be a leader, you have to actually be very caring, but you have to be authoritative. You have to be kind of distant as a leader, but very approachable. There's so many contradictions. One researcher said it's dancing on a razor's edge, and nobody can really do that.
In a world where it's so easy to allow the mindset of being single versus being married divide us, Dr. JoAnn calls us to unite.
Well, I would love single women to know, who are professional women, that they are seen and loved by God, and that any lies they believe about being single are not true, that God loves them, and living single isn't a half life, it's a whole life, and embrace it. For married women, I would just say, gosh, we have much more in common as single and married women than we know. We a lot focus on our role or our circumstances of life, and we forget that we are just women. When it's all said and done, when we all get to heaven, the Bible says we're neither married or given in marriage in heaven. We all become single again.
Yes.
We all just become men and women. So if we can bring that sense as married women, if you could bring that sense that this single person is my sister, is really a family member, then that lens will really go far in helping us to widen our circle beyond people like us and say, hey, single women, come into our family and be a part. And single women can add to a married woman's life in a lot of ways that we don't expect.
Awareness of the challenges we face is the first step to unity and transformation, which is what the BOLDLY conference is all about.
I think BOLDLY, and I said it in my video to do the promotion early on, is where information meets transformation. Okay. So you're coming to the conference, but you're not only getting information, you're actually getting the how-to. How do I put that into practice? And the spiritual aspect of how is God involved in transforming me in these ways? Because information isn't always transformation. Knowing more doesn't change us, but God changes us. And that transformation piece is what BOLDLY does for working women. Gives us new information, validates what we know, pushes us a little bit further, challenges us in what we need to learn, but also brings in that transformative element of faith and work together. So I think that's why it's so crucial.
So here's a joke for you. A chaplain, a counselor, and an executive coach walked into a bar. The bartender asks, what'll it be? And the chaplain says, well, I'll take a moment of peace. The counselor says, I'll take something to help me unwind. And the executive coach says, I'll take a vision board and a mocktail. Let's turn this night into a mental wellness plan. I know, it's a bad joke, but as lighthearted as this might sound, the truth is, mental health really isn't a joke. Especially for working women juggling faith, career, and everything in between. That's why this year's BOLDLY conference made it a priority to address these issues head on. The importance of having open, honest conversations about mental health can't be overstated enough. It's crucial that we create spaces like this, where we can support one another and strategize about how to lead well while taking care of ourselves.
Mental health is actually being a human being, because mental health is all about how we make decisions, how we handle stress, how we communicate, how we think, our self-awareness. There's so many beautiful things about human beings. And so in the workplace, what we all know, hopefully your company is doing things for you, or if you steward people in your company, you're thinking ahead to be this proactive. There is actually not enough psychologists and counselors right now. The need is so great, from children all the way to any age. And so we are seeing that many people are having to wait to talk to somebody, when all of us know when we need to talk to somebody, we need to talk to somebody. And so there is a push to figure out how do we provide that, and we have solutions and answers, and we all can be that answer for another, as long as we deal with our own mental health. And it's an ongoing journey.
Jeanette Robert, a chaplain with Marketplace Chaplains, is committed to supporting the emotional wellness of employees. She emphasizes that mental health is a very real human experience, reminding us that we're not alone in facing it.
We believe that we're designed by and created by an amazing creator. And so all of us we have emotions, we have feelings, we have life, we have there's things that make us tick. Yes. And that doesn't make us different than anybody else because that's a human being. Yes. And if we take that and we normalize, I hate to say this, I don't know how to say this the right way, but maybe it's more of I guess you could say just normalize this terminology of mental health. What really is mental health? I do many talks where I will go and I start off, okay, give me a definition of mental health. Crickets. And people will be like, well, mental health is this, mental health is that. Good. Let's really define what is mental health. And once we recognize that, it affects all of us as human beings, we all have to deal with our own mental health. And now when we talk about disorders, and we talk about things that actually stem from unhealthy mental health, then that's a little bit different. There's a lot more things we dive into, like PTSD, the moral injury things, all the different kinds of things that actually happen. But on the panel, we just got a chance to really just talk about how are we taking care of ourselves? Like recognizing, are we doing some self-care? And do we have, like you were saying, a trusted person to talk to just help us maybe ask the hard questions or reveal to us our blind spots so we didn't even realize we're there. So that's what I felt like a lot of our conversation was, which was so refreshing.
Another key topic of discussion was stress and burnout. Leah Brown, resident expert therapist and counselor at Flourishing Root, eloquently invited us to consider how these issues impact our entire being.
Secondly, we talked a lot about managing, or at least my part was talking a lot about managing stress and burnout and being able to understand how to combat that and how to spread out the mental load that we're carrying. There's so many things that we have, and every time we have something that adds to our mental load, the ideas and thoughts that live in our head rent-free, when we have too many of them, it's overwhelming. And so when we can figure out ways to first recognize them, and to understand that every time that we have a change in our job or our family, even great things like you have a kid that graduates from high school and they're moving on, all of those things create stress. And so when we can recognize them and appreciate that that's on our minds and on our hearts, and we carry that in our bodies, and being able to relieve that actually improves our well-being and our overall life.
Leah's insight into managing our mental load highlights a crucial aspect of our well-being. How the things we carry in our minds can either weigh us down or, when addressed, set us free. This conversation is a perfect example of why spaces like Boldly Conference are so necessary. It's more than just a gathering. It's a lifeline for women navigating the complex intersections of faith, work, and personal growth.
I think what's really neat is at the conference here, using that word boldly, when you think of bold, what do we think of? And just like we all are going to have a different image that pops into our head. But how do we talk about positive boldness with the authority of the presence and the power of God through our lives? Because, in Joshua, God says to him, be bold and courageous. Bold and courageous, bold and courageous. Well, what does that mean? And so it wasn't just Joshua being bold in and of himself. It was partnering with the power of God to be bold and courageous. And so I really feel like here, and I pray that all of us leaving today and those who listen to this in the future will get almost grasped, a nugget of boldness that's I need boldness by the power of the Holy Spirit. And I need dependence on God. He empowers us to be bold. And so I feel like that is something that's happening here in the conversations.
Having an event like this allows you to connect with women from all over the country who get it, who know what it's like to be balancing different things and to understand the expectations that are part of being a working woman, and how you can share your faith in the context of your work in a way that is bold and kind and loving. And it's just amazing. And the hearts of the women that are here are just so encouraging and so supportive.
As we've heard from our speakers, the Boldly Conference is more than just an event. It's a lifeline for working women. It's a place where bold conversations spark real change, connecting us with others who share our passions and challenges. It's remarkable to think that women from all corners of the country converge here, not just to network, but to renew their minds and find solace in the vocations they're called to pursue alongside God.
What brought me here was the the promise and the hope of connecting with people who are on this journey to glorify God in the marketplace, especially women. And what I'm discovering is there's this amazing network of women who don't see each other as competitive and really just want to join hands and say, how can we do this together? It's just been really beautiful.
As we wrap up session 1 on being renewed, we've discovered that renewal is not just a momentary shift, but a deep, transformative process. The Boldly Conference stands as a beacon of support and community, guiding us through this profound journey. I want to personally invite you to be a part of Boldly 2024 this October. Boldly isn't just another event. It's a premier professional development conference designed specifically for women like you who are committed to excelling in their careers while staying true to their faith. At Boldly 2024, you'll gain cutting-edge insights and practical strategies from industry leaders that will elevate your professional skills and embolden you to lead with confidence. But it isn't just about the sessions. This conference is also a rare opportunity to network with a dynamic community of women who share your passion for growth and excellence. You'll leave not only with actionable takeaways, but also with lasting connections that can propel your career forward. And because you've been with us throughout this entire episode, I am so thrilled to offer you this exclusive discount. Be sure to use the promo code podcast20 when you register, and you'll save $20 on your ticket. This is your moment to invest in your future, to step boldly into the next chapter of your career, and to do it alongside women who will inspire and support you every step of the way. Tickets are going fast, so don't wait. Visit boldlyconference.com now to secure your spot, and remember to use the promo code podcast20 at checkout to take advantage of this special offer. Let's make 2024 the year we all lead boldly together. Join us next time as we dive into session 2 and uncover what it truly means to be emboldened. We'll bring you more stories, insights, and experiences that highlight why Boldly is such a pivotal part of our collective journey. Thanks for being with us today, and until then, embrace renewal. And let's continue to lead boldly together. Keep moving forward, friends.